Today we'll be looking at Chapter 4, Soil Biological Properties. Soil biology refers to the living organisms within the soil, ranging from microscopic bacteria and fungi to larger macroorganisms such as earthworms or burrowing mammals. These organisms are vital because they drive processes like nutrient cycling, organic matter breakdown, and soil structure formation. As explained by the author of your textbook, the biological compounds of soil is what truly makes soil a living, dynamic system rather than just a mineral medium. When we consider soil fertility and plant productivity, it is often the unseen biological activity that plays the largest role. Without these organisms, soil would be less capable of supporting crops and natural ecosystems. This figure looks at a topographical sequence of soils in a human temperature climatic zone. Organic matter consists of living, recently dead, and decomposed plants and animal material. Humus, the stable end product of decomposition, can persist for centuries and provide many benefits such as improving soil structure, water retention, and nutrient availability. In the text, it emphasizes that organic matter is the cornerstone of soil quality, noting its role is enhancing tilth and productivity. Humus also contributes to soil color and helps create stable aggregates that resist erosion. Farmers and land managers focus heavily on organic matter because it drives long-term soil sustainability. The figure looks at the soil surface containing mineral particles and organic matter. Humus is highly decomposed organic matter that resists further breakdown. Its dark coloration helps give fertile soils their rich black color. One of the greatest contributions is its ability to enhance the soil's cation exchange capacity, which means humus can hold onto the slowest release nutrients for plant use. Your textbook highlights that this is a slow release effect that helps buffer crops for nutrient deficiencies and makes humus one of the most valuable soil components. When we manage soils, buildings, and maintaining humus is often a key goal. As shown as a dark layer, can be derived from leaf litter on the forest floor or from roots in soil surface. The carbon cycle illustrates how carbon moves between plants, animals, the atmosphere, and soil. Plants absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, depositing carbon into soils through roots and residues. Decomposition then either releases carbon back into the atmosphere or stabilizes it as humus. Your text stresses how soil acts both as a sink and as a source of carbon, depending on management practices. This dual role is central in discussions of climate change mitigation, as soils can help store carbon if managed correctly. Carbon enters the biosphere through photosynthesis and is cycled back into the atmosphere by decomposers and by burning. Soil organic matter levels are influenced by climate, soil texture, vegetation type, and management practices. For example, cooler climates slow decomposition, leading to higher organic matter, while sandy soils typically store less organic matter than clay soils. Your textbook notes that cropping practices such as tillage can accelerate organic matter loss, while conservation tillage, cover crops, and manure additions can help build it. This slide points out the stress that organic matter is not static. It is constantly being gained or lost depending on how soils are managed. Decomposition is carried out by soil organisms that consume and transform organic materials. Fresh residues are broken down first into simpler compounds, and over time they are further degraded into stable humus. Temperature, moisture, oxygen levels, and residue quality all affect the speed of decomposition. Microbial communities are highly responsive to the environmental conditions, making decomposition one of the most dynamic soil processes. This process is what recycles nutrients for crops and maintains soil fertility. Factors influence decomposition rates, including temperature, moisture, oxygen, and the carbon to nitrogen ratio of organic inputs. Residues with high nitrogen content, such as legumes, decompose quicker, while those with a high lichen, such as corn stalks, decompose slower. The emphasis on management practices like irrigation and residue incorporation can alter decomposition rates. Understanding these factors allows farmers to better manage residue breakdown and nutrients released into their soils. Soil organic matter is critical for nearly every aspect of soil health. It improves soil structure, enhances nutrient retention, buffers pH, and increases the water holding capacity. The text underscores that organic matter is often the single best indicator of soil quality. Soils rich in organic matter are more resilient to drought and erosion, and they provide a better environment for crops. This slide ties together the importance of managing soils in a way that sustains or builds organic matter over time. Soils can act as carbon sinks, capturing and storing atmospheric CO2. Practices such as reduced tillage, crop rotation, and cover cropping will enhance sequestration. Your textbook notes that soil carbon sequestration is both used in agriculture to improve soil health and as an environmental strategy to reduce greenhouse gases. Management decisions such as frequent tillage or residue removal determine whether soils release or store carbon. It is important for us to understand the link between soil management and global climate issues. The rhizosphere is a narrow soil region influenced by root secretions and microbial activity. Roots release exudates that fuel microorganisms, creating a highly active zone of nutrient cycling. Your textbook describes roots also improve soil structure by leaving behind channels for water and air movement. This dynamic zone is critical for nutrient uptake, disease resistance, and plant growth. The rhizosphere is the volume of the soil, water, and air immediately around the plant root. Soil microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoa. Each group plays unique roles from decomposing organic matter to fixing nitrogen or breaking down pollutants. It is clear that soil fertility depends largely on these organisms' activities. Bacteria drive the nutrient cycle. Fungi contribute to the organic matter breakdown in soil structure. This diversity ensures soil systems remain functional under changing conditions. Microorganisms in the soil are instrumental in decomposing plant material that results in the formation of humus. Rule 4.1 comes from your textbook and looks at the various functions in the organisms that are involved in this. So for instance, we're looking at the maintenance of soil structure, nutrient cycling, sources of food and medicines, and biological decomposition. Fungi include decomposers like mold. Protozoa and nematodes help regulate bacterial populations. Your textbook highlights that this diversity is what makes soil ecosystems resilient and productive. The nitrogen cycle involves multiple biological transformations that determine nitrogen availability. Processes include fixation, nitrification, immobilization, mineralization, volatilization, and ammonia fixation, to name a few. Your textbook emphasizes that nitrogen is often the most limiting nutrient in agriculture, making the soil essential to understand. You should understand how nitrogen moves between forms that are available to plants and those that are lost from the system. Management practices aim to retain nitrogen in plant availability forms for as long as possible. The figure comes from your textbook and looks at the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen fixation converts atmospheric nitrogen, or N2, into ammonia. This is carried out by the symbiotic bacteria and free-living bacteria. It is essential for making nitrogen available to plants naturally. Nodules on the roots of some plants contain bacteria that are capable of taking nitrogen from the air to benefit the plant. Modification is the conversion of organic nitrogen into NH4+. Decomposition of protein and nucleic acid releases ammonium. This is conducted by a wide variety of bacteria and fungi, and it provides a plant-available form of nitrogen as part of the nitrogen cycle. This slide looks at the nitrification process. Mobilization. Soil microbes take up inorganic nitrogen into their biomass. Mineralization is a release of inorganic nitrogen during decomposition. The balance affects nitrogen availability for crops. Dentification converts nitrates into a gaseous form. This occurs under anaerobic soil conditions. It leads to a nitrogen loss from agricultural soils. Volatilization is the loss of nitrogen as atmospheric gas to the atmosphere. It increases by surface application of urea fertilizers. It is typically higher in a warm, dry, alkaline soil. Ammonium ions become trapped in certain clay minerals. Particularly, this occurs in soils with a high 2:1 clay. It reduces short-term nitrogen availability to plants, and fixed ammonium may become slowly unavailable over time. Organisms also contribute to weathering and soil formation. Roots release organic acids, and lichens and microbes break down rock surfaces. Over time, these biological processes release minerals that become part of soil systems. An example of how biology and geology intersect is in soil development. Without these processes, soils would form much more slowly. Organisms such as earthworms, termites, ants, and vertebrates help mix soil, incorporate organic matter, and create pore spaces. Their burrowing improves aeration and water infiltration, while their feeding activities redistribute nutrients. Your textbook points out that in many soils, earthworms are considered ecosystem engineers because of their oversized role in improving structure and fertility. Larger animals like prairie dogs also shape soil landscapes, especially in rangeland ecology. Nematodes are usually microscopic, as the one on the left. They can be destructive to crops. Earthworms are essential for mixing organic materials with minerals in the soil. Arthropods include insects and mites. They shred plant residue and make them easier for microbials to decompose. These organisms help speed nutrient cycling and contribute to soil aggregation. Tails and mites play an important role in the decomposition of dead leaves and stems. They are active in tunneling in the soils and enriching it with organic materials. In tropical regions, termites build large mounds in which they concentrate calcium as well as organic material into their nests. Termites play an essential role in tropical and subtropical soils by consuming cellulose-rich materials. These organisms help speed nutrient cycling and contribute to soil aggregation. Your textbook underscores their ecological importance, even though they are often overlooked in discussions of soil biology. Vertebrates include mice, shrews, ground squirrels, groundhogs, and prairie dogs. The burrowers mix soil layers, bring subsoil to the surface, and create habitats for other organisms. While some may be considered pests within agriculture, they also contribute to aeration and organic matter incorporation. Your textbook notes that their burrowing activities alter water infiltration patterns and redistribute nutrients. These animals demonstrate how soil biology connects with above-ground ecosystems. Shrews, ground squirrels, groundhogs, and prairie dogs dig complex tunnels into our agriculture fields and rangeland. These tunnels promote deep water infiltration and gas exchange. They also move the subsoil to the surface and will affect nutrient distribution. It comes from your textbook and shows the burrowing activities of animals and how it contributes to the enrichment of soils. Pesticide applications can disrupt soil biology by reducing microbial diversity and killing non-targeted organisms. While they are a valuable tool for pest control, they must be managed carefully to avoid long-term damage to soil health. Your textbook highlights that biological communities are resilient but can be significantly altered by repeated chemical exposure. We must stress that it is important to balance pest management with practices that will support our soil organisms.